What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're drifting the 6.7. Look at this. Hell yeah. But what we're doing today, I just got done at the orthodontist, and next time I get my bottom braces off, which is going to be awesome. Ended up grabbing some breakfast because the haircut place ended up not being open. I'm guessing because it snowed, so I'll just get a haircut later today. I also grabbed some liquid moly so we can change the oil in the Magnum, and I need to run by Hobby Lobby. Hopefully they're open. Now I have everything to change the oil, so since I'm waiting for the expanding foam to dry, I'm gonna come up here, change the oil, get the engine 100% ready. That's really all that's left to do is change the oil. I have some 040 weight, some anti-friction, and an oil filter. So I think we should do that and get this thing ready and then kind of go from there. Now that I'm done changing the oil in the Magnum, I'm going to work on the front door harnesses. So the harnesses actually plug into the Challenger body harness. The only issue is that when you plug them in, it turns the center display off and it does some weird stuff. So one wire has to be pinned wrong. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with it, get everything working properly, and then we could have both front doors working. After that's all said and done, it won't be very hard to add the rear doors later. So I'm not going to do it now, but I just want to get the front ones working, get all the speakers and everything working. Eventually I want to make boxes for the rear speakers. So I did end up putting one Challenger speaker in the rear. I need to still tear down the other door, which I'll do in a little bit. The reason why I ended up tearing the door down, I was going to sell them complete, but then I found out that supposedly the doors are actually key to the car. So there's not really any reason to sell a whole door. I have good door shells, good glass, all that stuff. So I'm gonna sell that and list that stuff separately and then just use whatever else I need. So I need to find a Durango or Durango front handles. Somebody said that I guess the newer Durango handles fit on Magnums, which will be very beneficial because I could use a little keyless entry button as well. So let's get to work on the door, try to figure out what's going on. I have the Challenger harness out somewhere so I can trace back the wires and figure out what is actually pinned wrong. And then after we figure that out, everything should work fine. So I ended up running into a few issues trying to get the driver and passenger front doors working on the Magnum. Using the original Magnum harnesses, it's not impossible, but at the end of the day, I'm eventually gonna run all Charger wiring in there anyway. And the Challenger, and I'm guessing the Charger, each door has its own module. The issue with that is there's not as many wires going in or out of the door. So the problem we were running into is if I want to use all the stuff to make the keyless entry and all of that technology stuff work in the door, I can't use the Magnum harness. The reason being, it doesn't have all the stuff there. It has more wires and it's just not gonna work. The mirror stuff's not gonna work. None of that stuff's gonna work. So what I'm gonna end up doing eventually is getting Charger stuff. I'll get Charger door harnesses and the modules, and I should be able to get all 4 doors to work later down the road. For now, I'll just get the front doors to work. But the thing being is this module right here controls the window regulator, the mirror, and some other things. So I think the best way to go about this is just to use this harness. I've already put this loom right here onto the Challenger harness. So what we're gonna do now, or what I've already done, but what we're gonna do next is throw this harness in, and the Magnum harness is a 2-pin for the regulator and the Challenger is a 6-pin. So I'm guessing that's because there's stop limit switches in the motor. What I ended up doing was thinking that these motors would directly swap over, and they kind of did, but the base is different. So what I ended up doing was using the Magnum base, and as you saw, I took the motor off of the Challenger base and stuck it on the Magnum base. So everything is good to go now. This should work. It'll plug into the Challenger module, and that's really the main thing. So I'm gonna have to figure out a place to mount the module on the door, and I'm gonna throw everything in. I'm also gonna end up having to probably, we'll see. I'm gonna try it with the Magnum lock because these both have similar connectors. But if the Magnum one doesn't work, I'm gonna have to throw the Challenger one in there, which I've already stuck it in there. It bolts right in, and I think everything will fit. The one thing I don't wanna do is the Challenger, when you open the door, the window cracks a little bit. And I think it's just because there's one switch in there. If I leave that switch disconnected, I don't think it'll do it. Since this has door frames, the window doesn't need to roll down a little bit. just finished all the modifications on the Magnum driver's side door, and everything works now. So I did delete the switch that makes the window crack. That switch is right here. So if you unplug this switch, your windows will no longer crack. Also, I need to figure out where I'm going to mount this module. On the Charger and the Challengers, there's a hole cut in the door shell and they just bolt in there. I need to figure out where I can put it while the door panel will still bolt onto the door and everything will work together. So need to figure that out. I also need to wrap that wiring up. The wiring was a little bit longer. I really don't feel like cutting and soldering it, just because I'm gonna end up putting Charger door panels on here and most likely Charger wiring eventually. So right now this will work. I'll just wrap it up and everything will work. I also need to figure out how I'm gonna mount the window switch for the inside windows, and I also need to get a newer Durango. I guess Durango door handles have the keyless entry stuff, because this handle right here has a little button, and this one out here, there's no way to put the button on it. So I need to do that. But if you guys saw in the time lapse, or if you guys saw earlier in the video, I rekeyed the door lock. So if you didn't know you could do that, really, it's really simple. You just pull I think it's like a roller or something, whatever it's called. You just pull that out, and there's little pins. There's 4 on one side, 3 on the other, and you just pull them out and put them in your new lock or the old lock. So I wanted to use the Magnum lock, so the Challenger lock was longer and I couldn't actually fit it in there. So to use the Magnum shell, so it'll work with this door handle, I just pulled the pins out. The key fob key right here from the Challenger. We got this guy right here. I guess I could just show you inside that it locks and unlocks it. We got, look at that, locked, unlocked. So yeah, if you guys didn't know that you could rekey a lock, it's not very difficult. There's just strikers in there. You just hammer out the base, and then you just replace the strikers into whatever lock you're gonna use on your car, so the key that you want to use is gonna work. So I didn't want the original Magnum key to have it and then have this key. So now everything is good on the driver's door. I really wanted to get the passenger side door done today, but it's a lot of work to get one of these doors kind of retrofitted. If you guys saw, I replaced the motor on the regulator with the newer Challenger one, not the whole assembly, just the motor part. So that works. And I also soldered in one of the connectors for the speaker. So these are Alpine Type S's, but they have the connectors, so they just plug into the factory harness. Also, the key thing I did, and the original Magnum striker right here is all the same, so it plugs directly in and it works. All right, so the window is up. We have the window switch. We go down and we go up, and it also has auto down. See? So I'm pretty happy that the Magnum driver's side door is now 100% wired up. It did take quite a bit of time, and it wasn't wiring that took a lot of time. It was unwrapping all of the wiring sheathing. So the newer Challengers use like this fabric sheathing, and it's really hard to cut with a razor blade, and it's also really hard to wrap because it seems like it wants to tear every time. So we got the driver's side done. Tomorrow I'll come and do the passenger side, get the passenger side 100% buttoned up, and that speaker sounds extremely good. So once I have all 4 speakers in here, I want to make boxes for the rear, because it seems like it doesn't really give it very much volume from the back of the car, and I think it's just because there's no there's no box around the speakers. So I'll figure that out probably after I do the wing. I'll do something with that, make some boxes that fit behind the trim, and then just kind of go from there. And then hopefully we have the brake line stuff, so I can throw all the front end stuff on and then go take this thing for a drive. I want to get that wing done most likely in the next couple days, or at least get it shaped. It's kind of a pain because I have to wait. Right now I have to wait for the expanding foam to dry every time I add a new layer. So I think I'm done adding expanding foam to the wing. I don't think I'll need any more. Now that this is pretty much the size that I want it. And the thickness, once I give it one more cut with a knife, I should be able to come back and hit it with some like plaster or something, just to make it so it's smooth and I can form it a lot more easily with plaster. The expanding foam sands pretty well, but it has all these holes. So once I get the shape, and this is almost the shape that I want it to be right here. So the wing just kind of curves down right here. It's definitely going to be separated from the body. So it's not going to be a 3-piece, it's going to be a 1-piece. So I need to separate it from the body after I get the correct shape. And then I'll hit it with plaster and shape it from that. And then we'll do a mold and everything will be good from there. But as you can see, I want this to kind of be like rounded here. So I'll still kind of round it. And coming up here, I want it to kind of come like this. So I want it to come down like that. Then I want it to come up like this. And you know, it's just a lot of time sanding, shaping, cutting, and then adding whatever material I need to next to get it to the next stage. So hopefully the wing progresses a little bit more. I think it'll come out pretty decent. I need to take measurements and everything as I go just to make sure everything's even. I'm gonna end the video here. I'm really excited the driver's door is now wired up. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do for a door panel, and I also need to figure out, you know, I wanna put charger door panels on it eventually. I just need to find a set of them. So I guess the next thing I need to do after I get this thing running and driving and aligned and all the brake stuff done and all that stuff is I'll have to start searching for charger door panels and wiring harnesses. So then when all this is back together, running and driving, I can throw the door panels on and she'll actually look really, really good inside, be 100% complete. So gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to click the subscribe button, throw a comment below, share it with your friends, thumbs up. See you guys next time.